my another presentation. मेरी आवाज आ रही है? I'm audible?
Yes, you are audible. Can we have some questions before we start this second topic?
I think we will take questions at the end for both the topics, okay?
Okay.
We can spare half an hour for the questions today. We will finish.
Yeah, so Professor Rajmal Jain will take all the questions in the end. So Matheji, first let him finish his second talk.
Are you able to see my this second?
Yes. Yes, so you can enlarge it. Yeah.
Are you able to see my this full?
Now it is full. Yeah.
Okay. So my second topic, or actually the 9th lecture of this series from my side, is based on endangered biodiversity. And what I wish to say is this, that you see, I have already given you many lectures related to what in Jainism has been described, say Akash ka hai jeev, Agni ka hai jeev, Vayu ka hai jeev, Prithvi ka hai jeev, Jal ka hai jeev, and even just few minutes back I finished Vanaspati ka hai jeev. So you already have realized, everyone, that the life is everywhere. Now life is everywhere, friends, but there is one science behind that. And I earlier in one of my lectures, I told you about the various components of atmosphere. Okay. And I told at that time the three quantities: pressure, temperature, and density. And this variation in the pressure, temperature, and density actually cause the formation, that Paryaya change the process, sometimes quickly, sometimes slowly, as well as, but you also would like to realize that the pressure and the temperature and density, they also influence the species on their evolution process as well as on their structure, size also. So wherever if you go to some kind of a low pressure zone that is above in Vayuka Jeev or Akashka Jeev at the moment, let us say above 100 kilometer or so, the size of the species will be smaller and smaller. You will find micro size or nano size or millimeter size. As you come down where the pressure is increasing and increasing, say above up to 5 kilometers above the surface, the size of the species is keep on increasing. And when you come all the way down to the surface of the earth, what we call as a terrestrial life, Prithvi ka jeev, we see that various kinds of height, species of various structure, various sizes, and all, including even Vanaspati, you can see some almost 100, 200 feet tall trees also. At the same time, if you go into the oceans, you will see the whale fishes or big fishes you can measure in the large number of feet. But at the same time, if you see that the right from the, atmosphere top to the bottom, the various lives are there, but life exists everywhere, whether nanometer size, that microbes, or even big, everywhere. And every life, I always remember that Samosharan thing, as Mahavir Bhagwan told, that everyone has a constructive role also. We should not consider that any life has a negative role, all the time negative role. No, it is not like that. Wherever it is, it has a positive role also, and they help to each other. That is why I told in my one of the only lecture focused at the end, Paraspara Graho Upaka Jivanam. That was my main conclusion, and that is I described in the when I was talking about the Vayukaya Jeev, how those microbes play the positive role for human beings. Similarly, how this Jalkai, ocean's life, they actually play positive role for us. Similarly, Vanaspati Kai, those now species which live inside the forests, they also play the very positive role for us, whether they are birds, mammals, or amphibians, or even the wildlife, basically. If the wildlife is not there, there will be no climate balance will be there. The environment balance will not be there. We should remember that the wildlife actually plays the key role in maintaining this whole climate. Now, because the various kinds of violences which we have started, not only in aviation, by aviation industries in the atmosphere, or in the space also through the satellites and rockets, etc., or in the oceans by the ocean industries killing the fishes and other animals, even Vanaspati deforestation. We have now, we are crying that climate change. But dear friends, who has created this climate change? We don't want to address this question. We must address this question that this climate change is also created by us only. And that is basically the main reason is the violence. I only attribute this, that violence against the nature is the major cause for the climate change and all the change in the biodiversity. Biodiversity is now in danger. I'm sometimes I feel shameful that our we are killing our ancestors. हम जिसकी औलाद हैं, जिसकी संतान है, they themselves are now crying and saying to us, please save my child, because people want to eat our ancestors. They don't want to leave them also. Some many varieties, many categories of our ancestors are already now extinct. And today I'm going to talk in detail about what kind of biodiversity, the species we have lost, whether it is for the animals or birds or even for the plants, etc. So let me first define what do I mean by the endangered species. When I say endangered species, means those that is very likely to become now extinct. They are at the border line to be extinct in the near future itself. And maybe whatsoever reason, but either in the whole worldwide or in the some local area or in one of the countries or in some kind of a state, etc. Endangered species may be at risk due to various kinds of factors such as habitat loss. I will ask you a question. Why these species are losing their habitat itself? Then poaching, hunting, you see, invasive species, etc. The International Union for Conservation of Nature, IUCN, they have prepared a red list and they are updating every year to year. And many species have come under that red list. Not only one or 10 or 100. I'm sorry to say, thousands of species now under the red list. And today we will learn little in detail about them. So basically, if you wish to attribute or say that who is responsible for that, there are only two factors. One is the nature, which is the part of our, as I told in the beginning, that it is under the self-regulated system. And but the second, which is much more serious, and 100 times is human activity. And they have played the significant cause in creating the some species to become endangered or threatened or out of this earth planet. This is very serious matter. You can see I have just demonstrated here only 4 out of thousands. You cannot see this red frog now anymore. You cannot see in the left side on the top that the air animal, what I should say, air species, and on the bottom left, the our terrestrial surface, as well amphibian, which was actually in the air as well as in the water and on the this land. So these are, and like that, you can go yourself and you see the IUCN red list and can find it out. This kind of a small, you see, such small, I mean, ocean creatures, and the creatures which live inside the sand, inside the soil, even in depth or in the water, but in the name of the land food or the ocean food, seafood, the people have critically actually 4,574 critically endangered species only in one list, not in all the lists. In all the lists, it is of the millions kind of thing. You see, this is the some kind of a list or the plot actually, the mammals, birds, reptiles, and amphibians. Amphibians means those which live in the water as well on the land also. You can see that one thing that is with the green, that is pre-adaptation, that is what they kill themselves. तो बड़ा जीव जो है वो छोटे को खा जाता है. That is also predation is always there. That is a law of nature. But by and large, other things are done by the human activities. I would like to ask one question: that what are the systems that people are these animals are being killed by human being just in the name of some religion. The one is we call as a animal euthanasia. Okay, I agree. Sometimes in people, those animals which are in the pain and strong pain, and they are not able to tolerate, then for the pain relief, they are being killed. But in that name also, the many other animals are being killed. Then animal sacrifice to make happy the god deity, then animal slaughter for food, animal hunting for food, for sports, for fur, and for the other kinds of products, that is lifestyle. Animal blood sports are there, and then the roadkill accidents and many other kind of for self-defense, etc. See, for the kurbani in the some kind of a one of the religions, many kinds of, I mean, not in one, but in thousands or even maybe the all over the world, if you see, the millions of the animals are being killed on that day, or maybe on Qurbani in the name. Many other countries like Yemen or Saudi Arabia, etc. Every day they are also killed as a process, like in India or in other countries, the Bali is there. You can see here the thousands of animals. They are actually some kind of agriculture farming. So they are doing agriculture of farming of the animals itself, and all sorts of cattle, buffaloes, cows, hens, chickens, these goats, and they are being killed and for the various kinds of work. This is very, I mean, ridiculous to be criticized all over the globe. And I think United Nations also should come forward and stop this kind of a sacrifice and various kinds of for the food and luxurious. They do many kinds of things. There are many games are also being played. On the other hand, you might have heard also there are many plants and they are grown only to kill the people on, because they have inside the one or the other kind of different kinds of poisons, and some poisons are they are using to in the pharmaceutical drugs, but in the other drugs, that is poisons preparation, etc. For example, I give you this kind of plants. This kind of plants, they have very strong poisons, and even if you test it, then you will fall down, and then you will, uh, I mean, maybe one may die also by in few hours or so. So one should be, but wise farming is done especially by those economic forces of this kind. Instead of planting a good tree which can absorb lot of carbon dioxide and produce the oxygen, but they have much more interest because of the earning the money in this kind of plants. I would like to, while the wild animals are actually being killed, then you know that the large adult animals are more likely killed by whom? By human beings, by poaching, hunting, etc. And the small, of course, by the predation. Uh, they themselves eat their own children or like that or other. But technological improvements, say with the mobiles technology, we can now check which animal is where, and we can check even not only the terrestrial but aquatic also animals, birds and insects, etc. So technological by waves we can kill, by sounding, launching the strong high energy and high frequency radiation we can kill, and by technological improvements, means by cannons, missiles, satellites, we are killing so many launching time, and the large number of animals as well as the of bigger size or smaller size and insects they are being. But you can imagine, when by this technological improvements, when larger size animals are being killed, then how many trillions और हम जो कहते हैं infinite number of microbes and nanobes, they might have been killed by that. So insects oftenly they are killed basically during this agriculture farming, then the pest control, etc. So they are also being killed. Let me show that by this poaching in North America, many animals are actually being killed, just like a bear, wolf, Caribbean moose, elk, uh, that boars, sheep, etc. I mean, various, and in not only in North America, but in South America, in Europe also, and even in Asia. The hunting is everywhere throughout the world. And as a result, when the big size, which is much more important for the environment, for the climate maintenance, this big animals are necessary, but we are killing, and 50%, 50% of the big animals are being killed not by the nature, by the people, or maybe even much more. There are no record anybody gives, and they are killing for the food, and they want to sell their organs. They want to sell their bones. They want to take out the many different kinds of, just like horns and inside other elemental material, etc. So as a result of that, what happened? The many lions of some particular varieties are already we have lost on this earth. You can see that even not only that, but hunting is also being done uh, in Africa, and various kinds of buffaloes, then the our panthers, tigers, leopards, they are being killed. Now, currently, the world is facing the number density of leopards. They are already have gone in the small numbers. So this we are already losing. Now, if you ask a question, after all, what is the necessity of this? They are the dangerous wild animals. Yes, I agree. They are wild animals, but these are the animals only which maintain the carbon cycle. They eat another smaller wildlife or other animals, which otherwise, if their number density will go up, they will cause the problems in the environment, in our forests, agriculture, or even to the human beings, etc., and the other atmospheric condition. So it is what Mahavir Bhagwan told, that is parasparo upgraho jivanam, is that we need not to intervene anything. We need not to kill. Actually, it is a all self-regulated system. It is self-regulated biodiversity system is there. And if you will intervene, then definitely it means you are going to change the variation in the parya itself, and which is going to be dangerous. So let it be a self-regulated system. Now, if you say that this, I mean, critically endangered, then what will happen? If they are critically endangered, that is, we are doing cutting the forests and we are destroying their habitat. उनका घर ही बर्बाद कर रहे हैं, तो where they will go? They will definitely either will be critically endangered or they will attack on us, and again then we will kill them. So now I would like to give you a few, I mean, examples in another half an hour. Then we will spend half an hour for questions. That you see that in avian species, there are a large number of avian species up to 5 kilometers, and then above the microbes start also. And in that, you see what this IUCN, that is International Union for Conservation of Nature, that is a well recognized international organization. They have taken some kind of a study, and 10,999, this much were evaluated by them, and out of that they fully assessed 10,947. Now out of that, you see, they are not threatened. How many? Large number. You can say 9,461 are not threatened by any means. But you see, even the 10%, I think more than 1,000 or between 1,400 and 15 are already threatened. Means in this few years, that is from 2000 to 2020, in 10 years or 20 years, we have already done a significant difference. See, so much difference that 10% or more than that, 14%, they are threatened. That is in the air. And what is out of that? 164 to 183 are already extinct. Now I would like to have this red line as a red line for all of you, friends, that now we will not be able to see this about 159 birds or avian, this whole species, anytime. Our generation, next generation, they will even never able to see them. Then 5 extinct in the wild and 19 possibly extinct, that CR means critically or possibly extinct. Now this is the situation. Now how it happened? The human have actually finished their eggs also. See, they have not, I mean, killed only those species. They have not eaten them, but even they have eaten their eggs also. Okay, and for the killed those birds forever. No, there will be no now generation of those extinct uh, birds. Here is the example. Just out of those 150, 160, I have shown you only. Perhaps many more elder people, or much elder than me also, if they are here in the audience, they might have seen some 20, 30, 50 years back, but now these birds are no more in the world. Similarly, aquatic, in the fish or in the other kinds of aquatic creatures, similarly, I have a list up to 2016. And now I would like to say that out of this whole estimated and assessed 2,343, that is between 2,000 and 5,000 are already threatened. See, why the fishes to be threatened? It means we are doing. हम जो जाल बिछा रहे हैं, जो हम ओशियंस में इंडस्ट्री बना रहे हैं, that is because of all the now fishes and the others, they are threatened, and out of that, almost about 100 see already extinct. We will never be able to see those varieties, those species of the fishes. 65 extinct already, 6 wild, 87 possibly extinct. So who has done this? Why we? Because many people think that the fish oil is very important for the health. They also kill the small fishes. They think that the small fishes are good for the eyesight. See, the different people have different, you see, views without going into the research and medical proposition, etc. And the medical people also, in fact, that is also a big industry to earn money. And you can see here the one kind of a variety actually now does not exist even in the museum, and they have what I could see is only a drawing only, but this kind of species are now we have lost from the our planet Earth. If I go to the invertebrate species, then invertebrate that small those things, they already large number, you see, between 4,000 to the almost 10,000 are threatened, and more about 500 are already extinct. And I could not understand why they want to kill them. Now you see the variety which I show. Can you see? Now these are not visible on the earth, and the people, particularly I would like to name Japanese and Chinese and what you call South Korea, North Korea, these countries, and some in the Europeans, including even and in Asia, Thailand, etc. The people, they want to eat the small these invertebrates which are inside the sand or the soil and in the oceans, wherever they, in the name of the seafood, land food, and they want to make some medicines, or I don't know whether they want to eat them or they want to sell some gems of that, or but they are killing, and thousands of varieties we have already lost on our earth. If I go to the mammals, then almost between 1,000 and 2,000 are threatened, and we have already lost about 81 or 83 or something from this. 81 are extinct and 2 are extinct in the wild also. And man is actually a big enemy of mammals. That I understand, because when I was a student in USA, as I told many times you earlier also, in New Mexico, there in the Sacramento big hills, mountains, it is a big forest. And on every Saturday, Sunday, weekends, many poachers were coming and they were killing the birds. And at that time, only I came to know, but the many people are coming for hunting to kill the mammals also. And many mammals now have been finished. And that's what I started my talk, that mammals means many other kinds of mammals also, but few ancestors have also been killed, and now we are not able to see them anymore on this earth with that variety. The reptiles, if you see, the, they are already threatened and endangered on this earth, almost about 1,000 to 2,000, and about 40 or so, they are already extinct. The 24 extinct species and 2 and 17 possibly extinct. And the man actually is cruel to these kinds of animals also because of his lust of food and showcase. They want to, in the house, they want to put not only the leather of lions or the leopard, etc., but of these reptiles also. And they want to make use of this oil, etc. So of you can see now that these kinds of reptiles, say of turtle, crocodiles, and other kinds of because turtles basically are used in defense and other oils, etc., in pharmaceutical medicines, and many crocodiles also. This kind of a variety, I don't know, you can see my this on the right side. This variety of crocodile is now not visible, and the others. Then the snakes, lizards, various kinds of, they are not visible. Particularly Europeans are much more loving to eat, and they have industries to make the various kinds of products out of these reptiles. I'm very much discussed many times when I read these things about endangered species on the earth. Then is habitat lost. Actually, I always feel that I think that is the main cause, and that main cause, habitat lost, their home is lost, and that's why they are moving here and there to find a suitable house. And I found that the, there are not only the hunting is only the thing, or people's greediness to eat them, or luxurious lifestyle of food, but the pollution, urbanization, and agriculture, they are also the causes for that. And so we should never do, or we should not get involved in deforestation. We should not get involved in habitat loss. मैं आप सभी से हाथ जोड़ के निवेदन करना चाहूंगा, कभी ऐसा पाप ना करें कि किसी भी जीव का जो है उसका घर बर्बाद हो जाए. So this human exploitation is the another major cause, and you know that the many kinds of animals, big animals, even unicorn, genda jo hota hai, so that kind of animals also have lost now their houses. Of course, there is a natural competitions are also there among the this species itself, and they kill not only the plants, they kill to each other, but plants kill to the animals, animal kills to the plants. Then the fire are there, volcanoes are there, lot of their own competition with each other also, so they get killed over there. But habitat loss, their loss of their, I mean, loss of their house is one of the important cause of our climate change and the endangered biodiversity. So if you, we can summarize that deforestation, diseases, invasive species. So this is also human activity in invasive, because we bring some species from, say, Australia, and we want to grow them, or we want to evolve them in India. It will be difficult because their seasons are different time and our season are different. Or something from Canada, and if we take it to the, I mean, in Africa, then it is very difficult because one was actually acquainted with the tropical system, and the other, it has come from the temperate. So it is not possible for them. Similarly, the other reasons, if you see that this picture is a very informative to all of you, and this shows, this endorses this endorses the my last slide of the last lecture, just last lecture, when I showed one research paper, and that paper was published in the Environment Journal, and it was told that if human were not present, then it was better, but with the presence of human, 500 times we are losing the species. And if you see here, the pre-human on the x-axis, then actually this endangered species were hardly even one, only less than one or one. Okay, colors are there, colors have been given at the top of that, and you can see as soon as the human came in last 1500 years only. I'm not going to BC, in last 1500 years, that is 580. You can see all the reasons, and from one it has come to 100, that is 2 orders of magnitude has increased, and there is a future prediction that it will go even 1,000 times. So that research paper is appears to be correct, and the various reasons have been shown by the various colors. I would also like to, friends, tell you if we will continue this kind of violence, then now the time will not be very far away from our mass extinction. You see, on this earth, already five times mass extinction has taken place. I'm showing this data almost 550 million years to the current time. And you can see this peak as a function of time when this mass extinction took place, when almost more than 95% mass was finished. And you will also, I would like to request you, you can read, of course, the names of all those five mass extinctions, definitely. But after every big mass extinction, following to that, in few million years, another small mass extinction was there. We have the study by archaeological as well as the biologists, by this space people. This has been endorsed by several kind of scientific communities. Of course, we have the data for only this much, and this has endorsed. But as I told you earlier, that we have come all the way after the fifth extinction, mass extinction of dinosaurs. We human being came from a very small microbes, which again born in the ocean. And every time from the ocean only the life comes, and then they become the big as a function of the time in millions of years. But every time, as you know, the dinosaurs were too much violent, too much violent. They wanted to kill each and every kind of species. And finally, they also, that's why, ended. Whether they ended their life because of the collision of the by the comet or by the big volcanoes all over the from the earth. But this is the fact. Now, that was a big extinction. I would like to again remind you, whatever I told, that after every big extinction, there is a small extinction also. And if the cycle follows that principle, then after a few millions, because 65 million years back, this dinosaurs were killed. And you can see that the difference between the bigger one and smaller one is only few million years. And so if we people do not understand, rather we claim that we are talented, we are intelligent, we are followers of Tirthankars, we are followers of several different kinds of religions, we are followers of different gods, etc. But at that time, if we will not improve ourselves, our lifestyle, our culture, our religious lessons, if we do not follow and practice and apply them, I think we are going to kill ourselves. That is what I wish to say, that the time is very close. And this time is perhaps now maybe the sixth era, end of the sixth era or so. But you can see that the data says that the sixth extinction is very close. What I wish to say, the mass extinction. In the mass extinction, whenever it takes place, then large number of mortalities actually takes place. The lost rate 10% of the species every million years. It is a normal. जो मैंने आपको बताया भी था वो हमारा rules है. It is as per the rule of the Jainism. You see, as per the rules of the Jainism, it is a self-regulated system. So 10% of species every million years they are lost. 30% every 10 billion years. 10 million years, sorry, 10 million years means 1 करोड़ वर्ष में 30% species खत्म होते हैं. And 100 million years means 10 करोड़ वर्ष में 65% every 100 million years, 65%. So if you add that, then you will think that yes, mass extinction is this thing. So mass extinction when it comes by some natural way, either from below the earth or above the earth from the space. See, it comes and then it finishes the large number of this thing, even much more than this under the rules and regulation, and 95% it is finished at that time. Okay, so 75% of species go extinct within a, I mean, relatively a short period of time, within the 2 million years or so. So, what I wish to say and remind you about the Jainism, Jainism says that evolution occurs. Evolution occurs through the balance of extinction. भगवान ने ये कहा ही था कि this is self-regulated system. It means extinction is also a part of the self-regulated system only. So a time of the when extinction takes place means a large number of species are finished, but that is the creation also comes for the new ones, because according to Jainism, number of souls is always remains in this whole universe same and same. That number n, that is density, let us say, always will remain same. So if there is a destruction, extinction is there, then the new creation comes. This is law of nature, and this is what we say, that the that will come evolution above the background rate, and this has to happen. So we should not think these are the names of the laws, last five extinctions which I told, and when we are likely to be extinct, that is always question. In every lecture, people ask me when we are going to. The, my Jain community, I would also always say that if we will continue this kind of, so please teach to the all non-Jain people also, stop violence. Please become non-violent. And if we will continue this, then the end of the sixth era, our eon, sixth eon, छठे आरे के बाद तो हमारा शायद, because the time which I told you in my this slide is very close over here, and it is likely to be finished. The cause actually basically are major two causes. One is the carbon dioxide comes from the bottom, that is through volcanoes, etc. I will not go into detail, but the various kinds of extinction in the five extinction, various kinds of causes were there, and sometimes the big objects, celestial objects comes from the space. Then also, then I told you that the temperature on in the history, you see, this is the millions of history. Okay, temperature almost, you can see on the x-axis various kind of temperature. Zero is our background, you can say, or our extinction horizon, or normal. That is always, as I told you, that every million years something happens and all that. But temperature whether goes up, please remember now this blue thing and red, temperature goes up or temperature comes down, whether it is global warming or global chilling, global cooling. People always die, or whatever the species are there, species are much more sensitive to temperature. So this also is one of the natural cause for the endangered species or biodiversities. Dear friends, now this is my one of the last slide, or I'm very close. And what I wish to say, that as we go with the improved our technology and improving the assessed number of the species, we also find the threatened species are also in keep on increasing. Still, we are not very much in a worst condition. But in next, that is by the end of this century, if we will continue with this kind of our activities, the threatened and critically endangered or extinct species will go up. And as it goes, another one order up means we will be actually come under the endangered. So we will say endangered human people. That will be our label on our, or tag on our shirt, on our clothes. So I think the nature itself, before it kills us, we should become aware, we should become non-violent, we should actually follow the principles. The wildlife population, you can see that significantly has come down. If I take just 1970 or something, that 100% in just last few tens of years from 1970 to, that is in just 50 years or so, 60 years, uh, it has come from 100% to almost 25%. Significantly, we have killed. And actually, I feel because of we have killed wildlife, that's why our biodiversity is in trouble. Our climate change is in trouble. So basically, you can interpret that our mainly uh, whole problem is because of the violence, whether it is erosion or our climate change. Our oceans are in trouble. Our aviation system, air is in trouble. So हमारी जो पांच महा पंच महाव्रत आप सॉरी पंच जो कहना चाहिए कि components हैं, 5 components of our environment, all are in trouble. And as a whole, we say that our biodiversity is endangered now. So what we need more and more people is either the vegetarian people or even the veganism, which is now becoming more and more people. And I need not to say to you people what is veganism and vegetarian, but the milk is a major difference in that and many other things, etc. So these communities, veganism community and vegetarian community, we need actually to take our this non-violence, ahimsa, to everywhere. And again, I would like to pray to all of you, request to all of you with my folding hands, take the message of this non-violence to everywhere. So what I would like to conclude my in this talk, second talk, that we must actually act differently, faster, and more decisively before it is too late and species are lost forever, including ourselves. And please save now wherever you see our ancestors. Thank you very much for your kind attention. And with my folding hands, again, you all are my ambassadors, and please convey my message to all over the globe of this non-violence. And if the non-violence is adopted, please ensure that all the problems, all the problems that is global issues can be solved by the non-violence. But as well as the aparigraha is also more important. Convey message, ahimsa parmo dharma, but as well as the aparigraha parmo dharma. Thank you very much. And now we will take the questions. I'm audible.
Yes,
Am I right?
you are audible. And
Can I now withdraw my PPT and
yes,
start questions?
yes.
Just 1 minute. Give me 1 minute. Yes, I think.
May I ask you a question, sir? My
Yes.
name is Vijay.
Yes.
Yeah. Professor Jain, I congratulate you for your very intensive, thought-provoking, and educational lecture that you have given. My basic question, very humbly, and it's out of ignorance. भगवान आपने एक वर्ड बताया कि अप्लाइड अहिंसा, तो वो अप्लाइड अहिंसा भगवान महावीर की जनवाणी में था क्या? और ये सवाल मैं अपने एक्सपीरियंस से बता रहा हूँ कि जब पेड़ हैं और पत्ते हैं वो नदी में गिरते हैं तो वो लेवोर्सन की जियोलॉजी के हिसाब से डेड.
Sorry, Bhatia ji, please unmute yourself. Somebody is doing noise from backgrounds. Yeah, sorry, you can continue your question, but you have to unmute yourself.
नहीं, मुझे सुनाई दिया था क्वेश्चन. आप बोलिए कंटिन्यू, प्लीज कंटिन्यू. हेलो, आई एम ऑडिएबल?
Yes, you are audible.
ये क्वेश्चन कौन पूछ रहे थे?
Bhatia ji.
हाँ, भाटिया जी, आप पूछिए
please unmute yourself. Bhatia ji, you are muted. Please unmute yourself, Bhatia ji. Okay. he's actually
Can we take another question meanwhile?
I have a question.
yeah. Yes.
Yeah, again, as the previous person said, all your lectures are excellent, wonderful, very informative. The most exclamations you can use. However, I do have some questions. Like, for example, you showed a slide on big 5 mass extinctions in Earth's history. Now, you went back to 500 million years ago. And if I understand you correctly from previous lecture, human life is only 1 million-year old. Is that correct?
Okay, I started the human life only 5.8 million years.
Okay, so 5.8 million
And
ago.
before us, 65 million years, the 65 million years dinosaur. So
Okay.
humans are
So-
very, very recent. And I also would like to add for completion of my answer that the talented or intelligent human being started some 40,000 to 4 lakhs of years. 40,000 to 400,000 years.
Yeah.
भगवान ऋषभ देव का 10 जो आइकॉन्स जो थे, मतलब उनका जो व्हाट वी शुड से इनकारनेशंस जो बोलते हैं, so Mahabal, which was the first one, that was around 400,000 years.
Okay. So the point is, the human life is at most 5 million years old, not more than that. Correct? Human life is not more than 5 million years old.
Yes.
Given that, looking at your chart, the 500 million, 400 million, 300 million, looking at the extinction rate was pretty high, even before the human appeared on the earth. So how can we blame human when the extinction rate was so high even before the human came in?
No, whatever the nature, whatever the kind of life was there, whatever the kind of thing, just like dinosaurs, because much has been understood only by, but they were non violent only. They hinsak the wo. They were totally violent and they were killing. So it was, I mean, I should say that they have crossed the border of the violence. So I would always interpret in that, because all 500 up to 50 million years, if you go back in the record, then the violence was also, whenever it was there at that time, this. So I don't 100% interpret only to violence, but at the same time, when this violence was increasing, the natural disaster also came. And I had presented in my one of the lectures that whenever the violence is keep on increasing, then yes, natural disasters also increase.
I absolutely agree that we are the cause, humans are the cause of a lot of deforestation, a lot of problems. But looking at the history, it seems to me that nature itself has been doing all these things anyway.
Yes, of course, that is what I say, but that is what I say, that human cause of this violent activities, then the human will not not going to finish as a mass extinction. Mass extinction will be done by the nature when it will go to the, I mean, beyond the borderline. Say either from the top, that is from the space, or from the bottom, from the geological point of view.
No, we should definitely make an
Okay.
effort
No,
not to do the violence.
no, I humbly give you one another scientific now part also, which also I should have given, because, but you see, lecture has a time limit only. But you see, the Earth always has a limitation of the density. Density. How much total kilogram mass per unit area, let us say, or per unit volume it can consider for survival of. Otherwise, there is a law of nature that itself will destroy the system. Okay. and that is what we call as a rules and regulations or the laws of nature, which finishes. But now, if we are doing against the, I mean, whole ecology system, it means we are inviting that crisis, or we are inviting that extinction faster. And why I am saying another thing, if you, as I showed in that, there is a big extinction is there, and following to that in next few million years, there is a small extinction is there. So it has, so now big extinction of dinosaurs was there, and the time has already 65 million years already finished. So there is a extinction, small extinction, and human being or whatever the currently we are there, it is very much likely. And if you now go to the our climate cycle, or जो हम लोग बोलते हैं हमारा जैनिज्म का काल चक्र, if you go in that, that also I had shown earlier in my lecture. If you were present, then you might have noticed that the time is, I mean, very close. Not immediately in this fifth tara, or but that is what I say, sixth tara or something like that.
Yeah, thank you very much. I mean, your lectures are enlightening, very informative, and I hope you continue for many more months, these lectures.
महाराज साहब का जब आदेश होगा तब तक मैं करता रहूं.
So, yes, we will like to listen to Professor Rajmal Jain for longer period, but we have to think of the limit of the course, and also we have to plan some new other way of courses, offering courses, so that we can have all the lectures continuously.
बाठिया साहब तैयार हो गए हैं? बाठिया साहब.
Yes, Bhatia sir, you can ask questions. Sorry for muting.
Sir, there are two questions. One is the ahimsa, applied ahimsa, ये जिनवाड़ी में है क्या?
Yes. First of all, I would like to say, sir, yes, क्योंकि applied अहिंसा का अनुसरण करना यही समोशरण में सभी को सिखाया था. जैसा लिखा है, I mean, it is written in our canonical texts, one or the other way, directly or indirectly, we can interpret. But you see, and in that time, why animals were also attending? Because everybody wanted to listen that, and they were applying that. You know that there were not only human beings, but other animals were also present in that. If we consider that is whatever it is written, it is correct, then we. And he told, when he was delivering about this non-violence aspects, so he told this particular thing to apply in our lifestyle.
दूसरा क्वेश्चन है जैन साहब कि due to deforestation, did I understand correctly? You said there is less CO2 emission. Is it not contrary to what you said about 4 lectures back, that CO2 is increasing, carbon, and that is creating all the problems? So how do you reconcile these?
No, it is not in contradiction. At that time, I told the CO2 emission by industries and by various kinds of, even the dams also, but various kind of our technological things. So now CO2 at any given time T1, whatever production is there, now mostly it is being absorbed by this our Vanaspati trees basically, okay? Because the other people are not doing the carbon credit, whatever the innovations which they should have done. So now if we are emission rate, please listen now, see in my hands, okay, Bhatia sir, emission rate at any time T1, it is same and same, okay? And on the other hand, at that time, number of trees were also in good number. So it was being absorbed. But now emission rate by increasing industries or whatever, it has gone here, and these trees are going down by our deforestation. So now this CO2 emission is increasing, and because of that increasing, our greenhouse gases or the climate, what we call the ecology system, our environment, पंचभूत महातत्व शब्द मैंने यूज किया था, So all those, they are in trouble. So
Many, many thanks.
this is CO2. So you just consider as a function of time, both quantities, the deforestation as well as CO2 emission. Yes. Any other question?
Yeah.
Thank you,
Maharaj
sir.
Sahab?
Yeah. Anybody has any question? I have question. Yeah. Aridaman, Jane, you can ask.
Yeah, you mentioned that agriculture is a major cause for deforestation.
Yes.
But agriculture is a necessity for food and so forth. So how do you reconcile those?
Sir, I could have agreed with you if this agriculture were have done for the crops, for the food and other things. But if the agriculture is used for the poisonous plants, etc., soya oil and palm oil, etc. So basically, this agriculture, I mean, conversion of the forest into agriculture is not for the good cause. I think, and I have showed also significant number of slides in my presentation. You can go also and read document which I have sent as well as on the internet, and you will find that I am very much correct on my words. Wherever the population density is increasing, so forests are actually the trees, and I mean deforestation is considered. But wherever the deforestation, whenever it is considered or the forests are cut, the climate always changes, because I did not today could show in Vanaspati Kai how these trees are responsible for the our rains and other maintaining the climate seasons, etc. Because time was very short. But you see, I always remember that every species of all the way of Panchbhut Mahatattva, whether it is Akashkai, Agnikai, Vayukai, Prithvikai, Jalkai, or Vanaspatikai, everywhere, everyone is for a good cause, and they are responsible for to maintain this nature. And whatever the destruction or the I mean extinction takes place by nature, that is under the self-regulated system or the self-organized criticality. But we should not do that from our side. As soon as we started, you can see I have shown the data in last 50 years only. Particularly, we have done only right from 1950 70s onwards, and in 50 years we have damaged our climate. Now I showed, once again I would like to say that number of gold mines are keep on increasing. I have seen that the oil and natural gas pipelines and all the spots, they are keep on increasing, and they are cutting for them only these trees, not only in 1,000 hectares but in millions of hectares land. I have seen. And only one good thing which I appreciate to Peruvian government, they have saved our Shraman culture site near Pacific Ocean. And I also wrote a letter from behalf of our Bharatvarshi Digambar Jain Mahasabha Nirmalji, and we both an MOU we have done with the university, and they have saved all those. And this what I should say, the land museum is also there. So some good part, but more and more ecology communities have to come forward, and more environmental organization should work on that. So why we Jainism, actually Jain community, should not work for the applied ahimsa?
Thank you very
Yes.
much.
So I have two questions. Until and unless these big people or mafia people or religious fundamentalist people are not approached, this kind of unnecessary violence in the name of religion or sacrifice or just for production of drugs, etc., how they can be stopped? They will continue. And second,
There are two forces. There are two big forces to force them to come down. One is the presidents of every country. He can do whatever if he is convinced, then he can always control the things to at least to some extent. And the other is the United Nations and the related organizations, which I told that this farming of animals and this IUCN, etc. There are many. So they can. The other thing is the only effort which we can do is some kind of a international agitation against these people. But it is always risky because I have already experienced that within India as well as outside, even in USA itself.
So why IUCN is keeping silence instead of knowing that this much number of the birds or species are already extinct? Why they are not approaching these president of some countries or that countries where
I think serious effort. I should not significant, but serious effort to approach to the president of the countries and raise the voice in the United Nations. Still, it is not, done. That is why I appealed today that applied ahimsa voice should go all the way to larger community, and that voice should be sent to the presidents, to the United Nations. If we want, we can do major I tell you very small effort. When I was a student, 27-year-old at Sacramento Peak in New Mexico, at least 5 people forever I converted to the Jain. They are Christians. Still, they may be Christians, but by food style, lifestyle, they became Jain. So, and when I was cooking food and they started to eat my food, then they started to like step by step. Oh, this is delicious. This is this thing. So they have not actually tested the Jain foods or Jain living style, etc. But finally, at the end, 1 or 2 people even became better than me, even in their lifestyle. Follow up of the applied ahimsa or the Jain. So we can do always. Only what we can do is that's what my appeal to everyone, whatever the number of audience at the moment in my lectures, but everyone can do the, approach to 10 people of non-Jains, though, and request them, those 10 people, everyone to another 10 people. So it will be mass communication and it will be a revolution in over the globe.
those people who are dependent on seafood or like non-veg, if they convert into vegetarian or vegan, then also there would be the need of deforestation for agricultural purpose.
Well, you might, I think, heard or might have learned from the newspaper. Sometimes back, you see, many Japanese, a small fraction, but many Japanese, even they left all kinds of non-vegetarian food and all kinds of seafood. Anything. Even in Ethiopia, when I was there and I was working for this exploration of Jainism, etc. You see, then I understood that they undergo for fasting, and during fasting means they eat only one-time food, and there will be no non-vegetarian food. So it will be of 50 days, 100 days, even 150 days also fasting, that kind of a thing they perform, because previously they actually were belonging to Shraman culture. But because of the other forces, they were converted to this. Now, at least with our efforts, we could convert 10, 20 people out of that literate people, professors level and all that. And they decided, oh yes, when we can leave this non-vegetarian for 100 days, then why we cannot live for the whole year? We can eat always vegetarian, and good vegetarian food is available. So it all depends actually on your desire from the heart. You see, if you wish, you can always do.
So here we find that at FIU, the students and the faculties are very much interested to take what we say vegan food and vegetarian food and of course Jain food. But until and unless there is some kind of such facility in the university system, for example, any Jain cafeteria or vegan cafeteria, so they don't find such kind of food, so they continue their own habits.
No, you have to create a facility through the vice chancellor or whatever president of the university. When I was working over there in Tucson, Arizona, then in that cafeteria, I was alone Jain. But for one person, that is for me only, they were cooking vegetarian food. I cannot say that exactly precisely Jain food, but the vegetarian food, as well as when I was at the Sacramento Peak Observatory, that observatory. So looking at my food and my eating style and all that, even 2-3 other people also told to cafeteria, no, you cook for us also, students, they told that you cook for us also vegetarian. So and once you see, if you have facility, then I think a movement will start.
Yes, because
जो भी होता है
we always
कदम
want
से एक छोटे कदम से फिर बड़े कदम की ओर जाता है. It is not immediately, we cannot think that we can convert the whole world to be non-violent or to follower of the ahimsa.
Can I
Yeah,
can I
just to-
speak one thing?
Yeah.
Can I speak one thing? We are talking about deforestation, but in London, they are planting the tree, and quite a few organizations doing certain things. Like JVB is in London, they done quite
Yes.
a few planting, and Srimati Rajchandra made a whole garden. So quite a few things happening, but in a small scale, we don't realize. But I have a feeling rather than deforesting, but we are to sympathize towards small people who are doing this kind of a job. Like me, I'm wanted to do stop the plastic altogether, right? So I'm working towards it. No bottle water, I will give the water, and quite a few people are doing it. So if we promote the person who are doing it, so I think that will help rather than just speaking this is not, this is right, this is not right. The small
You are
people
sorry.
are doing it.
Yes. No, sorry. You are very much right. Not only in London, but in India, in Africa also, as I showed also, but all over the world. Even in Australia, there were a lot of deforestation. Okay. Now Australia is coming back. But
Yeah.
whatever the efforts for afforestation, that is
Yeah.
known as afforestation,
That's right.
afforestation and deforestation gap is almost by of 2 orders or 3 orders.
Yeah.
But
you-
that whatever the effort, even that 0.1%, I sincerely appreciate, that should be promoted, motivated, and even those people should be awarded. Like in India, Padma Shri was given to the person, a single woman who started planting lots of trees, and several now because of lands, the forest, big forest is there. Similarly, earlier one man was also awarded. So something reward also should be there, or their work should be recognized. So that I agree fully with you that this plastic also should be thrown outside.
that is thrown
And
outside.
afforestation is very, very much necessary. And afforestation is some kind of a step toward the ahimsa only. Jeev bachana hai na?
That's right.
Yeah.
So because I'm picking the plastic, and I told them I am inspiring with your lectures, right? So
Yeah.
I told them, even standing by, and told them, and they're all white. I'm the only one. So they say, can we come and have a word with them, or can we read something? Who is inspiring you this much?
If you remember, and if you were attending my previous lectures, I showed that how much plastic every day
Yeah.
every day in tons. In tons.
Yes.
1 ton is 1,000 kilogram. And not only 1 tons, but several tons plastic is thrown even in Ganga, which is, we say, as a river, sacred river. For
Now
our,
coming into the blood, everybody's blood, plastic is coming.
yes.
Detection of plastic in the blood. So forget about this thing. We are detecting in the blood. So I was very scared to even.
I'm very much surprised also in India or in other countries also, even in Africa. एक और तो हम भगवान गाय को भगवान के साथ जोड़ते हैं. Cow is associated with the god, right? Am I right?
Yes.
And on the other hand, those people, the slaughterhouse, the cow is highly slaughtered in India only. Cow, buffalo, and goat. The 20% world's demand is met by India. The significant fraction of the plastic demand of the world is manufactured in India.
India. Yes. Yes.
So, and if I will go to them and I will request them about the applied ahimsa, I will be killed next, thrown outside.
They don't even care. I know.
Anyway, thank you very much for your all kind attention, and I say sincerely thank you very much to all of you, and at least through these lectures, please motivate others to follow the applied ahimsa.
Okay.
Thank you. And any question left? Any question?
Hansha Shah, she's.
Oh yes,
नहीं,
please.
आपने जो कहा ना कि स्लॉटरिंग ऑफ एनिमल इज हैपनिंग इन इंडिया, तो हम तो इंटरनेशनल की बात कर रहे हैं, बट अपने नेशनल लेवल में अपने इंडिया के अंदर ही यू सेड दैट यू नो द मीट इज बीइंग एक्सपोर्टेड, एनिमल्स आर बीइंग किल्ड इन इंडिया. So what can we do starting from our home even, because अपने लोग ही तो नहीं सुनते, तो how can we go to the international stage and say something?
Currently, I am in Maharashtra, in Pune.
Yes.
Where the significant slaughterhouses are there in Maharashtra, Andhra Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh, you know. और ये वही उत्तर प्रदेश है जहां पे सबसे ज्यादा उत्तर प्रदेश और बिहार में बलि चढ़ाई जाती, और असम में. और वही ब्राह्मण्स जो कहते थे, जो गुजरात और राजस्थान के ब्राह्मण्स तो नहीं खाते हैं, लेकिन यहाँ के तो ब्राह्मण्स कहते हैं ये तो काली का प्रसाद है, वही ब्राह्मण्स ही खाते हैं. मेरी आंखों के सामने जब मैं IIT गुवाहाटी में गया था लेक्चर्स देने के लिए ओशियन हाइड्रोलॉजिकल स्टडीज के ऊपर, तो यू विल बी सरप्राइज्ड कि वही कामाख्या का मंदिर है, देवी का. आपने सुना भी होगा, बहुत प्राचीन मंदिर है, कामाख्या देवी का मंदिर पहाड़ के ऊपर है ना. सो आई वेंट अप देयर. वो यूनिवर्सिटी वालों ने मेरी विजिट ऑर्गेनाइज, उनको नहीं पता था लेकिन कि दैट विल बी सम काइंड ऑफ ए पैनिक सीन फॉर मी. और मेरी आंखों के सामने जो है 2-3 बकरियों को जो है, जो लोग आए थे जिनका कोई कहते हैं ना शपथ ली हुई होगी, सम काइंड ऑफ ए ओथ दे हैव टेकन, और उनका पूरा करने के लिए वो बलि चढ़ा दी, उनको मार दिया, और वो जो खून होता है उससे उसका तिलक करते. I have not told you that the blood games are also there in Europe, particularly of the this big creatures, big animals. उनको खून से लथपथ करना, उनको आमने सामने लड़ाना, ये सब चीजें वहाँ यूरोप में भी होती है, जापान में भी होती हैं, इंडिया में भी होती है, साउथ इंडिया में, अफ्रीका में भी होती है. Many kinds of killings, ways of killings are there. आपको ये अभी का नहीं है, मैं सभी को कहना चाहता हूँ, हिस्ट्री भी उठा के देखें तो जब यज्ञ वगैरह होते थे, पूरा जीवित घोड़ा जो होता था, लिविंग हॉर्स, लाइव घोड़े को आग में डाल देते थे.
जो राजस्थान में थी ना, औरत को जला देते थे when husband passed away, so वो भी तो हो रहा था.
वो सती का प्रथा तो था, वो तो अभी बंद हो गया है शायद, लगभग मेरा ख्याल है. बट एनीवे, व्हाट आई विश टू से, घोड़ा वगैरह यज्ञ के अंदर जला करके उसको खत्म कर देते थे. और ऐसी कई सारी, आज से 2500 साल पहले, यानी लगभग, लेट मी से, भगवान महावीर का जन्म हुआ था. तो भगवान महावीर ने जो बाहर निकले थे घर से, तो वो कोई इसके अपनी तपस्या करने के लिए he had at least I have a record, जब मैं भगवान महावीर का ये आर्टिकल लिख रहा था उनका निर्वाण का, तो विच इज अंडर पब्लिकेशन, तो उसमें 4 रीजन की वजह से भगवान महावीर निकले थे, जिसमें औरत के ऊपर अत्याचार होता था, सोसाइटी में ये जो मैंने बताया इस तरह की बलि देने की प्रथाएं थी वगैरह, देयर आर मेनी काइंड्स ऑफ सच काइंड ऑफ एविल सिस्टम्स वाज देयर, एंड दिस इकोसिस्टम वाज इन ग्रेट ट्रबल। तो बात बात में लड़ाइयाँ होती थी, है ना, तो he came out, but as a function of time he was doing more and more meditation, then he learned more about the nature and more about the whole our this principles basically। but you see, जो 5 चीजें जो उन्होंने कहा था, जिसको हम महाव्रत भी कहते हैं, अणुव्रत हम श्रावक लोगों के लिए, they are related by and large to the nature. That's why I always conclude, although Mahavir told or not, I don't know, but the Jainism is the religion of the earth and cosmic order. Please remember this. Okay.
And what religion of
The religion of the earth and cosmic order.
cosmic? Okay.
वो आप बता रहे थे ना, और अभी इस कोई लेक्चर में आने वाला है, और साइंटिफिक सब लास्ट 1-2 लेक्चर में आपने बताया था कि soul goes and all that about Jainism, and the more
Karma,
from the
karma,
physics
karma.
and
How the karma, yeah, process of
right,
karma. हाँ, अभी टाइम है, वो तो लेक्चर आएगा, लेट है अभी
Oh.
थोड़ा।
thank you.
तो मैं
Thank you
I am following the lecture series whatever Maharaj Sahab has sent finally, and even if it doesn't come, don't worry, I will give a special lecture on this.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes,
Okay,
thank
so
you very
thank
much.
you, Professor Ajmal Jain, for your
Thank you.
excellent
Thank you.
talk and all these
एक सवाल था मेरे को।
scientific data which you have collected from very authentic sources, and they
रमणी जी।
all are updating our or enriching our knowledge about what kind of violences are going on in the world, in what and for what purpose. So that we have to know, and we have to be very conscious that how we can make society more and more non-violent by approaching such people who are mostly involved in such kind of not unnecessary violences.
रमणी जी, मेरे को बोल।
Yeah, बोलिए।
आपको मालूम होगा श्रीमत जी ने धर्मपुर में 108 पाड़ा का वध होता था एवरी ईयर, तो वहां गए और 108 पाड़ा का वध बंद करा दिया। अभी वहाँ पाड़ा का वध नहीं होता है। नहीं तो धर्मपुर में ही जहाँ राकेश जी का बड़ा धर्मपुर तीर्थ बनाया है और उनका सेंटर चल रहा है।
You are right.
और महाश्रमण जी भी वहाँ जाने वाले हैं धर्मपुर,
जी,
2 दिन
सही
मई
कह रहे
महीने
हैं।
में। और आप इंडिया में दूसरी जगह पे जाके लेक्चर दे सकते हैं कोई मेरे?
हाँ, जरूर दूंगा। वो फिजिकली बल्कि फिजिकली देने में और ज्यादा अच्छा है। कल ही है लेक्चर, कल ही है यहाँ पूना के अंदर महावीर जयंती के उपलक्ष्य में।
अच्छा जी, अच्छा जी।
कल्याण कल ही एक
और
लेक्चर।
आपने बहुत अच्छा समझाया हम लोग को, तो मगर सबको ऐसा स्प्रेड करते ही रहना चाहिए अहिंसा के बारे में, तभी तो जागृति आएगी। श्रमणी जी तो है करते ही है, मगर दूसरे लोग को भी अपने जैसे श्रावक और श्राविका को बोलते ही रहना चाहिए, तभी तो होगा काम। इससे ह्यूमंगस वर्क।
यस,
Thank you.
और अपनी कम्युनिटी इतनी छोटी है जैनिज्म, तो भी अपन इतना करते हैं, तो अच्छी बात है सब लोग जो करते हैं।
अपनी कम्युनिटी छोटी है, इसीलिए मैंने एक ये मेथड निकाला कि वी शुड डू मास कम्युनिकेशन। हम 10 को कहे, फिर 10 आगे 100 को कहेगा, 100,000 को।
बराबर।
ओके, थैंक यू वेरी मच।
Thank you very much.
थैंक यू श्रमणी जी, आपने
Thank
बहुत बड़े अच्छा प्रोग्राम कराया।
सुंदर।
आपका आभार, बहुत वंदना करते हैं।
नमस्कार समणी।
महाराज साहब आपके चरणों में वंदामी महाराज।
Thank you very much. Thank you
Professor,
everyone for
thank you.
listening and asking, and very good interaction.
Thank